I got a Daisy feeling. I got a Daisy feeling. Yeah.
The conclusion! We are here, SYNTELL! We are here! We have made it! Rockstar! Thank you so much for coming back and returning for the conclusion, the concluding chapter of Rockstar. So, as per usual, if you do not have a Patreon membership or a YouTube membership with us, you will see a cut-down version of our reaction. This is part 3. If you have not seen part 1 or part 2, make sure you do that before you continue with this. Otherwise, it's going to be weird.
A little bit.
If you want to watch the whole thing with us, no cuts, no interruptions, head over to our Patreon page or become a member of this channel where you'll get access to the full, uncut reaction, the entire thing. But you will need your own copy of the film so you can open it up in an adjacent window to our reaction. We'll give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync, and it'll be like you're watching it with 2 of your favorite chaps from the internet. Thank you so much. Here we go back into part 3.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is what I want to know. What the hell happened to her? I don't understand what's wrong with her. What is her sickness?
Well, they have referenced something before that she wasn't.
पूरी कोशिश कर रही थी कि किसी तरह रोक लूं खुद को, मगर पता नहीं क्यों, पता नहीं क्या हो गया था मुझे.
You could have kept all that to yourself. I don't know why you're telling him all this.
उसके बारे में अब क्या फील करती हो तुम?
चली जाएगी ये फीलिंग जे. कुछ वक्त में सब गुजर जाएगा.
तो फिर कुछ वक्त के बाद ही बात करते हैं.
He's taking this rather well.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough story, but he's definitely got the ish end of the stick.
Oh. Right here, let's talk. Is the husband okay with this?
Huh?
क्या? तुम एक सेकंड आ सकते हो?
And by a second, I mean like forever.
रात में जो कुछ भी हुआ, उसके बाद तुम्हारी हिम्मत कि तुम इस घर के अंदर आ गए. शर्म नहीं आई तुम्हें? और तुमसे डैड ही बात करेंगे. हीर इस हाल में नहीं है कि वो और ड्रामा बर्दाश्त कर सके, समझे?
और पता है, कुछ नहीं होना है हीर को, घबराओ मत.
She's like, I ain't having none of this. Pose!
ये लोग मुझे बाहर फेंकने वाले, पर तू घबरा मत. मैं आ जाऊंगा वापस. और अभी इनके आने से पहले ना, जल्दी से किस कर लेते हैं.
I mean, stays focused, don't he?
दिमाग खराब है तेरा.
अरे यार, हीर अब तक हो भी गई होती. आजा.
कसम से जॉर्डन, मैं तुझे ना.
क्या हुआ? खड़ी कैसे हो?
He's like Jesus, but, you know, Indian.
खड़ी कैसे हुई? 3 हफ्तों में बिस्तर से नहीं उठी है वो.
तो अच्छी बात है ना.
मगर कैसे?
She in love. She got her boo back.
मत करो ये. मैं बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाऊंगी.
तूने कहा मेरी शक्ल नहीं देखनी. मैं आया तेरे आगे. 2 साल में कॉल की तुझे.
2 years.
मैं मर रही हूँ जॉर्डन. शायद कुछ महीने.
और जो ना मरी तो तू मेरी हो जाएगी.
जॉर्डन, मुझे हक कर सकते हो.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I thought some magic was going to happen. I thought it was going to be there already. That would have been an excellent cut though if she had gone on for a while. And she goes, "Can you hug me?" And he's like, "All right," and he's right there already.
Hey, come on now. I know I'm not supposed to be thinking this, but I feel so bad for her husband. Goodness. Another man done healed your wife through the power of love. What do you bring into the relationship?
Oh, there's no ring on that finger. Is that what we're supposed to pay attention to? I mean, that's the right hand, but still. It's the right hand, so.
Okay.
But we are given that focus instead of the other hand.
गिटार जैसी है तो और ये तेरे हाई नोट्स हैं.
उसकी ब्लड काउंट इंप्रूव हो गई है.
They just weren't giving her the right medicine. She just needed the medicine of love.
she needed some vitamin D.
सारी कोशिशों के बावजूद वो डूबती जा रही थी, बुरे से बुरी होती जा रही थी. और आज वो पार्क में वॉक करती है, ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए नीचे आती है. और ये ब्लड रिपोर्ट.
What's the longest you stared at a girl that you've
वो भी है ये.
known for a while, that, you know, you've been in relations with, so to speak?
In their eyes.
देखो नीना.
Anytime I tried to have that kind of moment with a girl, the girl was like, "What are you looking at? Why are you staring so much?"
तुम कह चुके हो.
Every single one of them. No, none of them last more than 20 seconds.
वही मैं सोचती थी कि इतना बड़ा स्टार है, काम नहीं होता ऐसे, पर जब भी पूछो तो कहता है फ्री हूँ.
12 रिकॉर्डिंग, 6 शो, एक प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च कैंसिल हो चुका है.
12 recordings.
2 लीगल नोटिस मिल चुके हैं मुझे. मुझ पाता फिर रहा हूं मैं सबसे. क्या कहूं कि मुझे खुद ही नहीं पता है कहां है ये. इस बार तो नहीं बचने वाला है पुत्र, सुन ले. इस बार तो नहीं जाना हवालात के अंदर. सुनना ही नहीं है इसे.
वो देखेंगे. आप ये बताओ अभी फौरन क्या करना है इसे?
कांगड़ा का शो है, उसके बाद फिर कई सारे शो हैं जगह जगह.
मुझे जाना है, मुझे पहाड़ों में जाना है, फिर से हिमालय देखना है.
I need to see what is wrong with this husband. Why is he such a bad catch? Because
और बारिश में भीगना.
I can't shake it
जंगल
either.
में चलना, घनी जंगल.
Like he's like, yeah, you have her. Just
yeah.
parade my wife across the country.
सर आप दोनों कब से साथ हैं सर? आप पहली बार इनसे कब बताइए सर? एक दो से चल.
कोई फोटो नहीं खींचेगा. कहा गया है कि ये मैरिड है. क्या ये सच है जॉर्डन? किनसे मैरिड है ये? अभी भी अपने पति के साथ रहे.
All right, somebody's asking.
You gotta make a deal. I'll give each of you an exclusive interview if you just don't include her photo. Don't talk about her.
शोज खत्म करो और जल्दी से आ जाओ मेरे पास. ओके?
That sounds very final.
Yeah, it does. Something's wrong.
Something is wrong.
But we're not watching an American movie.
Yeah.
We're watching an Indian movie. It could go different.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna go different. Oh yeah, it's a wrap. That's the last time you seeing her.
No.
मैंडी जॉर्डन को फोन करो. उसे बोलो अभी आने.
पीछे वाले गेट से लेना, इमरजेंसी में.
प्रेग्नेंट तो नहीं.
No ring.
नीना प्लीज. Please tell me that she's not pregnant.
मैंडी.
He pregnant नहीं है, right?
That's the doctor. Why are they asking him? Like, can't they do a test to find out? What happens if she's pregnant?
हीर का ट्रांसफ्यूजन अब भी चल रहा है.
Is it that she can't take it if she's pregnant? I'm confused.
जॉर्डन जी.
मुझे ये सब कुछ नहीं चाहिए. मुझे नहीं बनना बड़ा. मेरा दिल नहीं टूटना चाहिए कटाना भाई. मेरा दिल नहीं टूटना चाहिए. प्लीज कटाना भाई, प्लीज कुछ करो. मेरे पास और कुछ नहीं है. ये नहीं होना चाहिए. प्लीज
अब खुश हो तो
चल उठ जा जाते हैं। हीर हीर
तुमने उसको मारा है जॉर्डन, याद रखना। एंड आई प्रे कि जिंदगी भर तुम्हें तुमने उसको मारा है।
You know, we never really got the story on what happened at the beginning.
Right. He always said Jim Morrison was able to do that and was loved and applauded by.
Oh my God. Terrible. That's a dope shot.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Wow, they got a lot of extras.
Oh, yeah.
What? That's not real, is it?
I mean, I wouldn't think it would be, but I don't know. Maybe he's imagining this.
Maybe she's dying.
Yeah, I mean, this is her spirit. Yeah, see, there's somebody there.
कोई फोटोग्राफर नहीं, ना सोसाइटी, ना रूल्स, हमेशा
Oh.
That was a funny moment. She's like, "You gonna look at this?"
Oh. Is the whole credits just flashbacks?
Yeah. This is a great date movie.
Why? We gonna have the broad next to you sobbing? all in a shirt? How is that great for afterwards?
Cause she's gonna need some consoling.
Okay.
Come here, you all right? Woo.
Is this based on a true story?
No. Is it? I mean,
Oh, you can look it up. She's tall. Unless he's not that tall.
could be both.
Oh man, just kill me. God, this is so horrible. No, I don't mean horrible like it's a bad movie. I mean horrible like isn't this has left me with some sadness I just need to shake off. God dang it. Please tell me there's like a Marvel ending where she comes back, you know?
Oh, man,
like the end of Fast and Furious #4 when you find out Letty's still alive? Well, come on.
Oh my gosh.
She's not dead. She's in the hospital waiting for you. Gotta go hug her.
No. Yeah, at least they didn't have us at like, you know, him playing at the gravestone or something, you know. He shows up on stage. I'm free now. You can have me.
Yo, this movie broke me. I'm surprised I just didn't like end up just like sobbing. This movie like broke me. It's just so sad. It's so fucking sad.
It almost like it's not a lot of winners, right? You know, except maybe in the afterlife. That's the thing. Like he broke up the family, messed up the marriage. His label can't trust him. His manager can't trust him. Abandoned all of his friends. Disrespected the reporters and fans alike. Slapped around police officers. you know, if the one person that was in his corner was Here's sister, and even she was cursing his name towards the end, I'm like, dang, nobody wins. It's just one big hurricane of tragedy that's just spinning all around. But then, like you said, there's something about it that's just like, oh my gosh, but he did it all for love. It's like, I love everything else be damned. Oh, that's tough. It's so toxic.
It's toxic and beautiful and lovely. I want it. I want a dying woman. Just kidding.
Good, baby, you got a fever, don't you? You good?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I need a tragedy in my life. That would be horrible, man. If I was in love with somebody like to that level and she died on me, I don't know that I'd ever be right. You know, I know somebody who was in and out of a relationship with someone and for years, and then she got cancer and died on him, and he's still not quite over it, and this was years ago. Like,
oh wow,
we're talking like at least 5 years ago.
Wow.
He's still not over it. That kind of thing, just like, you're stuck. Okay, so I got this article here in front of me. Director Imtiaz Ali and Ranbir Kapoor are quite kicked about the latter's character. Janardan's transition to Jordan in Rockstar. Jordan is loosely based on Imtiaz's Jat friend, who lived in a small settlement in Pritampura. Imtiaz says Jordan's character is like a falcon because of his sturdiness and restlessness. There is a fire inside him that he's not able to vent. He deals with it alone, never finding a way. This reference has been used throughout the film. He adds Jordan is a vagabond, traveling from one place to another, such as Prague. He doesn't even have a house. Like a bird that keeps changing its destination, Imtiaz adds as Janardan, he knew he had music inside him, but wasn't confident until a breakthrough happened, even when his music and talent faces reality. Jordan doesn't realize the extent to which his fame is growing. After a point, that ceases to matter, and only music drives him.
I can see that. I felt that. He did seem very oblivious to the fame.
But this is inspired by a real person, is the short of it. That's what I was curious about, because it just felt like somewhat autobiographical in a way. Or like, or just based on something real.
You know why I can believe that? Because it doesn't have a very, you know, Western Hollywoodish kind of ending. A lot of times in real life, you know, things are messy, and there aren't a lot of like tied up, pretty, you know, everything's tied up in a nice little bow. Sometimes, you know, love leaves things jagged and rough and unsettled, and I felt a lot of that. I understand like your why. My dude's like, I want her at any cost. Any cost.
Yeah, man.
And you're rooting for him because, you know, it's the guy you're supposed to root for, but then you look back and you see that wake of destruction. It's just like, dang, bro, you. And you know, but they say, you know, if you're gonna love hard, right? You know, go all in.
No, you should love medium.
Yeah.
Like rice that's fresh. You know, freshly cooked rice, just a little soft, a little bit sticky, but you can get it off if you just wash your hands enough, you know? That's what love should be. Like
That's what love should be.
Like freshly cooked rice. I'm just kidding, obviously. No, man, this is true. I'm still like processing my feelings from this because like I was in love with their love. I think they did such a good job with the acting. From my non-Indian standpoint, I thought the acting was quite strong, especially because like you see a real transformation over the course of the film for both of them. You know, he starts out as that goobery, innocent dude who doesn't even know how to stand correctly to becoming this very hardened, heartbroken, pain-stricken, emotionally driven, emo rock star. Like, you know, he's just like doesn't care about the fame, flipping off people like Jim Morrison, and he's just going through so much all the time. What is life? I want to be a bird. Her, you know, going from being this sort of perceived goody two-shoes, ballerina, dancer, performer, whatever, which never came back, by the way, becomes someone who's like dealing with whatever. I needed to know more. The one flaw about the movies, I needed to know more about what was going on at home because it was so vague. Like she just was not happy. And maybe it's because she didn't have him in that adventure that they brought each other, because that adventure wasn't innate with her. It was they gave that to each other. There was obviously a special bond there that was undeniable. And I guess that's what was leaving her feeling the way she was and why she needed to see a psychiatrist or whatever. But she was trying to do right by, you know, societal standards and, you know, be faithful, whatever.
Oh, heaven forbid.
Yeah. And, you know, and then tragedy ensues after a short, you know, fleeting burst of happiness. There's this moment in Matrix Revolutions, which is a terrible reference, but there's this moment in Matrix Revolutions where Neo and Trinity are trying to get away from the machines. The machines! Machines! As Morpheus would say. They go up, and for a fleeting moment, they go past the scorched sky, and they see sunlight. And Trinity's like, oh, it's beautiful. And then they go down, and she dies. Then he has to fight, you know, Smith. So anyway, I'm not here to rehash Matrix Revolutions. I'm just trying to say that it's like, you know, it's like this fleeting moment of happiness and then the rest is sad. That guy f***ed him. He should have shoved him into the wall harder at the hospital. This is what you want me to have, is sadness. I felt two ways about that, him shoving him into the wall. It's like, this dude's always got your back. Come on, man.
No, I was gonna say, you know, it's one of those things where you kind of got to be careful what you ask for. You know, he wanted the girl, he got the girl, it was a price. He wanted the fame and the music, he got it. You know, it's like, dang, what are you willing to pay for though? That's the thing, you know. His manager, per se, the guy that ran the store, the shop that he was at or whatever, his mentor was like, yo, you gotta have pain, man. That's the only way you can make this happen. And then it was kind of funny when he goes out and tries to like make himself have pain, and it's not real pain, it's just temporary inconvenience. There's a difference. Yeah. You know, there's a big difference between those two types of pain. And by the time you see it at the end, it's like, dang, this is beyond pain. This is tragic. Like, so you kind of wish you went back to the spot where you just, you know, when she just wasn't interested in you and you kind of kept it moving. That's a different kind of pain, my guy.
I needed a scene where he was like crying and going, I'm so sad, as he's wiping his tears off with $100 bills. I'm so sad.
Oh my gosh.
All the wealth and fame in the world, you could still be sad and hopeless.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Hey, what'd you think about the dude, the old guy? I thought he was an interesting character. The old guy that played the interesting instrument that looks like a flute. Because I felt like, you know, maybe he was, I don't know, maybe rock and roll's voice of reason or something. I don't know. He just felt like he had power, or like, because he walked in the room, everybody kind of like, you know, revered him a little bit. Like, you don't know who this guy is? And he's like, yeah, I remember seeing you when you were playing at the temple and this, that, and the third. And then they had that cool scene where they were playing together. And then I think I saw him again a little bit later on. They kind of like gave a shot. Oh yeah, he was looking at the poster board is what it was. He was looking at the billboard on the wall, and he saw Jordan on the billboard, and he had like a look on his face like, I don't know if that was like pride or what. I don't know what it was.
That was a tad confusing. I mean, maybe I don't know what that was. I'm gonna answer your question, but first I just want to comment on how tasteful it was done, how they handled her death. I just thought that was really, really tasteful the way they did it. Because they could have done that a completely different way. But like they did it in this more kind of dream-like, abstract way that you don't see very often. Like you got the point. If being completely transparent, with Indian films, I'm usually getting more spoon-fed. Whereas this was more like, no, this is symbolic. She's leaving you. Like, this is the final hug. Goodbye. She didn't even hug him. Like, it was just like, you could tell she looked angelic and whatever. He's the only one that sees her. She's clearly dead. It's more painful to me doing it this abstract way. Like, oh my gosh, she's gone. But anyway, to answer your question, he was like a gravitational slingshot, you know? You ever hear about scientists talking about how they use Jupiter to like fling their satellites or whatever out further into space? That's what that dude was. You know, Jupiter. You can't not see Jupiter. It's ridiculous. You know, that's what this dude is. He's like clearly very famous and important. And I couldn't tell what that look was. He saw the billboard and I was like, I couldn't tell if he was disappointed or if he was like, yeah, I did that. He didn't look proud. It was very ambiguous. I think that's up to your interpretation what that look is.
Yeah.
Or someone in the comments could be like, no, dummy.
Plain simple. Can you just tell it was this thing?
He clearly needed some milk. That's all that look was.
He needs some milk.
I don't know. But,
yeah, you know something else I kind of respect too about Jordan. Like, even though he did have a lot of change, we just see a lot of growth in him. I'll give him this. The one thing that did maintain, like, he went at her hard from the word go. She told him straight up, you ain't it, bruh. Then beat it. You don't see these people over here laughing at you. He's like, nah, it's you. It's you. I came back. He came back over and over. Like, he never, ever just stopped. He saw her and was like, that's it. My everything. You were my muse. I'm not stopping. He maintained that energy.
Yeah, no, you're right. But we're not allowed to do that anymore.
No, you get a restraining order if you do that now.
It used to be the way. But we've interrupted that process, kind of like, mankind has interrupted the process of evolution, and now we're outside of evolution. I don't even know how you meet people anymore. If you're not stalking them, what are you doing?
Yeah, man, I was listening to an old Aaliyah song on the radio not too long ago, and it made me laugh. And the whole hook was like, dust yourself off and try again. I'm like, no, I can't do that shit no more. This don't work in today's age. You hear no once and you walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
before you go to jail.
Truth be told, man, I can't think of too many instances where I persisted past no and it yielded different results. Like, generally speaking, no once was no 4 times. So, it didn't pan out to a yes eventually. I mean, sometimes, sort of, kind of. It depends. I have to really sit and think on that. Like, how many instances where I heard no and then tried again later on and say, hey, how about, are you interested in now? And then it became a yes eventually. Like, maybe that happened. I'd have to sit and think about that, because I say that as a cautionary thing for anyone watching this that has not been in a relationship yet, or is in love with a girl that they don't really know that well. They've asked out, she said no. Like, my advice to people is to generally just move on. Someone else will say yes. I've had that instance of having a connection with someone that was undeniable that there was a connection there. She was focused on but I need to marry this guy over here, and I'm like, but why? You don't like him, or he obviously doesn't care about you on the level that we could have. I could save you. Yeah, that didn't pan out. She's pregnant. She got pregnant and married with that dude. And so here I am.
The milk's gone bad.
Talking to you jokers. So I'm just saying, move on to someone else. It's better for you. But cinematically, it's cool, man. It's you get to vicariously live through this character, because if I could, because she was ridiculous, absolutely. Even when she was looking sad because she needed to go see a psychotherapist or whatever, I'm like, you still look fine though. You still look great. Still, even then.
Yo, my man is the friend zone champion. This reminded me also too, this love that's so toxic that they can't necessarily even be with each other, but they can't be apart from each other, which was the theme of the movie Hancock. Big spoiler, big spoiler in case you haven't seen the movie Hancock. It's the movie's not really a superhero movie. It's about relationships and relationships that aren't necessarily good for you, but you just can't get away.
I just remembered. Okay, so my second girlfriend, this is before SYNTELL became my brother. She and I were having a weird thing where we separated a bit, and I was I was seeing someone else. Then I found out she was seeing someone else, and I got mad jealous. I was like, no, you can't be seeing nobody else. You're with me. And I dumped this bitch over here to get her back. But my ex didn't want me back. She was like, no, we're good. I don't need this. And I was like, no, we gotta be together. And I fought and fought and fought to get her love back. And then I got it, and then I dumped her 2 years later. But the point is,
where's the lesson? Where's
the lesson, if there's any lesson, is that the lesson is people don't change. Because the thing about it is, I wanted her to elevate beyond who she was at that time. And people are who they are. You got to accept that or move on. And I was I was rooting for her, because I was like, I don't want to get into this shit. People don't want to hear all this, right? I'll get into it. Okay, don't worry. So basically at the time, she was just wanting to party. And I was about going places in life. I was like, look, if you don't like figure out a path for yourself, I don't care what it is, just like you gotta have some kind of a passion. That's number one. Number two is I'm all about fitness. I need you to kind of be about fitness too. Like those two things are crucial to me. And like, if you don't want that life, that's cool, I get it, but then I gotta move on. And she's like, you're not accepting me for who I am. And I'm like, you're right, I'm not. I want you to do this. So like, if we gotta part ways, I understand. She never came around to it until I had one foot out the door. So that's why we ended up separating. And then I ended up dating the girl you met.
There's a transition for you right there.
How else could this story have gone? The thing about it is he became this wild sensation because he got heartbroken. And he wouldn't have gotten heartbroken if she never left. It's like there's no other way that this plot could have gone. Let's say that she never got married and they ran off together, right? Yeah. Because she has that moment when she's getting ready for her marriage and she's like, if you don't ask me the question or I'll tell you the truth. And that question, which is never verbally expressed, this is the thing I like about this movie a lot, is there are moments that are not like very verbally expressed and spoon-fed to you. She goes, don't ask me the question or I'm gonna tell you the truth. And that question being, will you run away with me? She'll be like, yeah, I will. And I'll leave all this behind. That was what was going on, and he's just too fucking dense to see it. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, okay, so what would have happened? What would have happened? Like, okay, let's say they ran off together. Then what? How long would they, she said it herself. She's like, the longest we would have lasted was 6 months. And I don't know that was like a statement that was meant to be taken seriously, or if she was just saying that to make him go away, because she's like, in her mind, she's like, I'm not allowed to be in love with you. You gotta go. Like, I didn't know what it was why she said that. But like, really, what would they have done? Like, his thing was music and he wasn't going anywhere with it. Would he have become the sensation that he did?
No.
Without that pain, you know?
No, he wouldn't have. No, and that's it. He probably would have still been a musician, but he wouldn't have been the musician, the superstar, the rock star. Without that, you know, you can't have it all. That's the horrible thing about this. Yeah, that does suck.
I don't, just to contradict the film, I don't absolutely believe in this notion that you need pain to become a sensation.
Oh, no, not at all. No, not at all.
There's this comedian, American comedian named Andrew Schultz. He has no pain in his history. He hasn't like had his heart broken. He doesn't come from a messed up family or anything like that. He grew up in Florida or something. He's had a pretty good life. And then he became an excellent comedian. And a lot of comedians are confused by this. They're like, wait, how is it possible he's this good when he's got no pain? It's like, it just proves that you don't need that to become something.
That's a big misconception. Yeah. People think that art has to have pain. No, you just need conviction.
Yeah, it makes it easy,
though. Yeah, well, yeah, because then your pain is forcing your hands, not you doing it for you. You're doing it because of the pain. You know, it changes your why.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Hey, yo, like this situation we got going on here is because of Jaby's pain, right? Because like I was trying to work something out with my ex and it didn't quite work out. Got my heart blasted open like a really, really bad safe. I was trying to come up with an analogy. I couldn't come up with one fast enough. I just can't be quick on my feet sometimes. You know, I get nervous. Just like an old iPhone. I don't know. But anyway, I got my heart busted open. It was my own fucking fault. It was my fault. I engineered that destruction, but it still hurt. Pain is pain. At the end of the day, pain is pain. And like, I took that and it was my fuel to do what we are doing here. So hey, it can work out like that. And then but it can lead you towards something positive. This was not positive. It was toxic and beautiful and terrible.
I mean, it's a modern day. It's a tragedy. It's it's a movie that's a tragedy. It's not something that you go in there, you know, and you're gonna leave feeling good, because you don't.
Yeah.
You just don't feel good at the end of this. But that's why. I mean, you know, one of the greatest tragedies of all time, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. It did feel that way. It did feel that way. Hey, SYNTELL, I got a question for you. Are you in a hurry? That's the line from the movie, dummy.
Oh, but them hugs. Yo, be careful. Them hugs is a gateway hug.
Yeah,
better be careful.
2 seconds. 2 seconds is it, and then after that, it's danger territory. I like this movie a lot. I thought it was really, really good. I liked it more than I thought I would. To be totally honest, I was not expecting to like this film. You know, because everyone's pushing it. I did a little poll on my YouTube memberships community page. And because like Achara was like, hey, you could watch these movies. And so I picked 5 of them and I asked my audience, which of these 5 would you want me to watch? And this one was the one that got the most votes. And people have been asking me to watch this for a long time. And so I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch it. I was so reluctant. And almost right away, the movie had me, you know, with his goobery character, and then like his just trying to find his way and his objectives, and then like actually it going somewhere is just beautiful. And then tragedy, and the music's really good. It's like all around. It's
The music is phenomenal. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I'm just kind of rambling. I like the film quite a bit. I thought it was fantastic, and it's a strong recommend for me for anyone who's like wondering what Indian movie to watch. I thought that this was a good one.
I certainly enjoyed it. It's definitely worth a look. You mentioned the music briefly, and I know we didn't really talk about it. But, you know, you would think, well, if it's a movie about music and musicians and they think that the music is going to be good, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it doesn't always end up like that. And not every single track on here was a 10 out of 10, but the ones that banged were like, oh my gosh, I know I said it repeatedly over and over again. I'm like, the music is really doing a good job with my emotions. It's putting me in that space that I'm sure that they wanted me to be in with the music. I mean, it is a character in itself, and it was very well done. I think this is a great example of, you know, not every think piece type of film has to, you know, deal with politics or espionage or whatever thing. You know, you can have like a think piece in a romance type of, in a romance realm. And I don't really see a lot of those. You know, I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain. I'm like, when was the last time I've seen something that could really cause a really good conversation, and it deals with love and romance and dealing with what the heart wants. I'm sure if I sit here long enough, I could think of something, but nothing off the top of my head. So I think that's a really cool way to go about this.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those kind of films that if you watch with like a group and the film is done and everybody's like sitting around like the coffee table and trying to figure out what they pulled from it, because there's a lot of different ways that you could go about this. I mean, maybe it's not as tragic as it seems. I'm sure there's an argument for it, but for me, that's what I pull from. But I just like that it makes you really think after the project is done.
Yeah, I have found myself enjoying foreign romantic films or romantic subject, you know, because oftentimes with American films, when there's romance involved, it's very saccharine and feels wildly just dumb. It's just not good, generally speaking. While this ended in tragedy, like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, I was still swept up in the romance of it, and I was still rooting for him. I'm like, oh, please, like, let this work for this dude. Like, please.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel that.
You know?
No, I feel that. I feel a little guilty rooting for him, too. It's like having a really good friend who's in a love situation that's not necessarily working out for them, and you want them to win, but you're like, this is not going to work for you, my God. I need you to like see a little bit past what's in front of your face. Like, you're destroying yourself and her and your friends and everything else. You know, I've seen those kind of situations, but you want them to win, but it's just not in the cards. You know,
you could say you're talking about me, man. It's fine. It's fine.
No, never that. Are you kidding me?
No, but
no.
Yeah.
All serious. Listen, no, but yeah. I mean, you're rooting for somebody to win. That's just probably not gonna win.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, in a way he won. I mean, like he had beautiful moments with her. Some of the moments that he showed here, I'm sure that you've had moments like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a certain height of passion and affection that some of us achieve and some of us get to experience. And I think that a lot of times the person you have those experiences with is not the person you end up with. Go ahead.
I'm with you on that. No, I'm just agreeing with you on that. Please finish that thought.
Yeah, because it's just so passionate, and like oftentimes that passion is paired with toxicity. Some of the most passionate moments I can think of in my relationship history is with an ex that I was not ever going to marry. It's just like, it just wasn't going to happen because I knew long term we weren't good for each other. It was very, very toxic relationship, but we were very passionate about each other. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of what's on display here. And I think a lot of people, either they don't experience that exactly, or they experience it, but they don't get to be with that person. They have to move on to like a more normal. Like, I think about myself right now, and I'm like, what's in front of me? What's in front of Jaby KOAY? And I'm like, really, the most sensible thing is to find a normal relationship that's borderline boring. You know what I mean? Just like, I just need something functional or I have some semblance of security. I know she's gonna be there. She's a good cook. Got something going on. Makes nice babies with me. Boring. Just simple. Why pick the fences? I don't need this crazy passionate toxicity shit. I just need it to be boring and functional. You know what I mean? And I think that's what most people who get married end up with, is just that, as opposed to the crazy heights that's reached in this story. It's like, even though it ended in tragedy, he got to experience that. And it goes back to that dumbass, stupid saying, whoever said it, it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. That's a lie. It's like, but I get it. At least you got to experience that thing that most people don't.
It's just what you're saying about being in those kind of relationships where it is a full-blown firestorm. It's just emotion everywhere. You don't know what's going on. Every day is a wild card day. I know very few, very, 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 very few people that ended up spending the rest of their life with that person. But most people I know have met that person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it is intoxicating. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, what am I doing? I ain't letting her go. And you know, and I'm sure it's like that for women as well. You know, that guy, you know, that brings out something like I thought one of the things that sold me on their relationship was when they came up with their young person's bucket list, per se, of these things that I want to do that are considered to be like taboo. I fell in love with them as a couple with that because, you know, each person is like stepping out on fear. You know, if you're fortunate enough to have those kind of relationships where there is a bit of a fear of the unknown, of just being daring. Nothing like it, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man.
I felt that.
Before I forget, I'd be remiss if I didn't say it. Shout out to Aditi Chowdary. She played the news reporter in this. I've interviewed her twice. She's a very, very nice gal. And she just gets more and more beautiful with age. She did a really good job playing the reporter person. Like, I knew right away, like, yo, yeah, she's in love with him, right? Like, she's following him, doing these stories about him. I'm just in love with him, right? Yeah, I thought she did a good job as that person. It's too bad it didn't work out for her. That's not the relationship that was supposed to happen. I feel like if it was an American film, that scene would have played differently.
Because he would have gone through with it.
Yeah.
I thought that's where it was gonna go, but that was, like you said, like American Western sensibilities.
The interesting thing about watching Indian films as an American, at least as many as I have, or you at this point, is having to do the translation in your brain. In America, it would go like this, and so that's what this is supposed to mean. A hugging or whatever for a long time is like making love or kissing or whatever. You know, a hug could be the American equivalent of necking, you know? It's like, you know what I mean? And having to like do those translations on the fly in terms of like what we have become acclimated to as Americans is an interesting experience. So that scene is one of those moments. It's like, okay, so like they kind of kissed. In America, they would have been she-bang, she-bang. Everybody, we'd love to continue talking about this, but we got to jet. An emergency has come up. Thanks so much for hanging out. Really appreciate y'all. If you want SYNTELL and I to continue talking about this film to ad nauseum, we'll do a live stream about it. At your request, let us know in the comments. That's it for now. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is...
Hey, it's your boy SYNTELL.
Peace out.